I imagine by now most of you know who we are.
This is our third appearance on YouTube.
Yes, our third appearance on YouTube. Our big release this year was Fantasy Craft, which is this gigantic volume here. I will block my face with it because it's funny.
It's for real.
It is for real.
Opens.
All 400 pages of it are real.
There are pages inside, which are all printed. These aren't blank galleys or empty cover.
Yes.
Yes. For real.
It isn't just a Fantasy Craft cover over another book.
Right.
A copy of Pathfinder or something. And we have recently announced a new license, our second acquisition. Of course, last year we announced, I will not do that, Mistborn, which is Brandon Sanderson's awesome dark fantasy epic. And this year we announced The Looking Glass Wars, which is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland with a somewhat more grounded and kind of a really awesome, different take on Wonderland and that whole story. So we're here to answer your questions, talk about a few things. Let's see. We'll get big stuff out of the way first. There's been a lot of speculation about what was coming next from Crafty Games, what's coming next for Fantasy Craft, what's coming next for Spycraft, and we'll knock out the big questions, the big answers right up front. So there is going to be more Spycraft. We have 2 books planned for World on Fire. One of the books will close out the CCG storyline and set up all the factions for play. Another one is going to launch the setting as it's going to give you all the tools to set up your own campaign in the setting and offer a few unique takes on different ways that the campaign can be played. Both of them will have player and GM material in them, so you're going to have quite a lot to look forward to on that front. Spycraft will have other books coming. We are not even we've got a really heavy Spycraft release coming. Fantasycraft will also have follow-up books. We know what's in them in terms of some of the concepts, but we don't know how they're organized. We don't know exactly what the books are going to be, so we're still working that out. So please forgive us if we're a little coy about this book will release this month, because we just don't know. But we can and will happily talk about a lot of the concepts, like what we plan. We want to do X. We have a setting that does Y. All of those things are fair game. And of course, there's the licensed products. One of the things that we wanted to make really clear this year, because it's new for us for the most part, is that we are we are a print company. We are not going to be abandoning print. In fact, much the opposite. We're going to be doing a lot more print next year, and into this fall. We're going to be doing probably a little bit less straight in PDF. And I think that's it for the really big stuff. Oh, the license. Yes, this will be something that'll come up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for a long time, people have been asking to do Spycraft product and product for our other games. And we've always been open to it. We've had a Powered by Spycraft program for many years. And Powered by Spycraft program we were always deeply involved. We wanted to make sure that the products were, we had a very particular idea about what we wanted to see out of products.
And that the customers were getting the quality they expected from the line and everything else.
And recently, we think Spycraft has grown to it's matured to a base where we feel that other people can do that without our direct involvement. And so we're going to be approving companies on a company-by-company basis to do Spycraft product at their discretion. Once they're approved, they can do as they like. We will give them the logo materials that they need, and it'll be a completely open and free license. No supervision, no oversight.
Something like the Savage World, General Savage World's licensing scheme.
Exactly. We'll be doing the same thing for Fantasycraft. And if those two go well, that book is about to fall, then we may do the same for all of our future releases. So the third party, that book still looks like it's going to fall.
Fall this way, at least.
The third party end of things should hopefully be heating up here in the future. So those are the big things that we wanted to get out there so that people could start asking questions about them.
Okay, seminar's over.
Yes. Goodbye. We're out. because usually these things wind up being a weaving storyline as we answer those.
Right.
And a lot has happened this year, so we figured we'd put it out there and let people do what they do.
Well, there is a bestiary.
There's a bestiary chapter in the book, and it's got 212 individual monsters spread over like 150 categories, I think, or something
Something like
and
that.
then templates on top of that. So, will we do another monster manual / bestiary style book? Maybe. It's not immediately in the works. What we are going to be doing is new monsters and adversaries for our settings.
Right. Yeah. Everything will have all the settings have a number of original things, which define the setting in a lot of ways, just like classes and everything else. So, and then there'll probably be some new monster rules that come in if there are specific needs. Things that tie to the settings, the campaign quantities are kind of permanently active in those settings. But yeah, I think if people want more monsters, great. We'd be happy to sell you more monsters. But this book has a lot for building monsters.
I think we'll be watching our boards, and with FantasyCraft, probably a lot of the other boards, because we think it's got a lot more penetrative potential than Spycraft did in that regard. But because there's just a lot more fantasy boards out there. But we'll be watching all of those, and if people are clamoring for monsters, we'll give them monsters. We're all about making sure that people get what they want. So, but short term, you're going to see things like new types of giants, probably in Godspawn, and some other epic creatures there. I'm sure you've got some plan for Cloak and Dagger and Epic.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger being a sort of a classical Greco-Roman setting, but it's an espionage setting. And so it has a lot of monsters that are inspired by Greek legends. It's not going to be straight up, well, here's fawns, but I'm a big fan of Clash of the Titans, and also that there's, in especially Greek fantasy, there's the Medusa, the Hydra, and so on and so forth. And so having something where incredibly badass monsters versus little guys with like short swords or daggers, you should make it interesting. Epic has a number of specific demons which are kind of drawn from the mythology of the setting itself. So that's greatly expanded there, because they're so integral to the conflict that lies at the core of that setting.
And actually, this part's new. So I talked about this a little bit on the boards. I figured somebody had asked, so I'll just jump the gun on it. So we talked a lot last year about Godspawn and its kind of bizarre evolution, where it started with this one idea and sort of mutated into the Asgard angle. The Godspawn's actually now 2 settings, and you'll see both of those eventually. One of them is essentially God of War done Asgard style, and that's the one where Ragnarok, a bunch of gods have dragged Ragnarok off the rails and upset the order, and so you're caught in this perpetual world-ending scenario that's perfectly tailored for epic play. The other one is a reverse fantasy setting where the dawn of industry is basically obliterating the fantastic world, and that one's really interesting. And the place where it became real for me was where, as a product, was where I realized that it's the home to our PC non-human creature generator, and it's the home for all the classes, or for all the species that we couldn't fit into FantasyCraft. So we'll get to see quite a few of the PC monsters that I think people want to play, but that we just honestly didn't have enough room to put in that way. So.
12 is sort of mind-boggling for a lot of people.
Right, and we've got Drakes and Unborn and all sorts of stuff in there already. But we'll see a lot of stuff. We'll see non-bipedals in there, quite a lot of things like that. So and there'll be rules for you building your own, which will be nice.
Yes.
So.